Children get mind-boggling filth on their computers through one phone call, and they then spread it around like an epidemic.
Well, it's a new horror, and what has happened is that the new technology has outstripped the laws which are capable of dealing with obscenity.
Sex online.
Up in their bedrooms, away from their computer-illiterate parents, the nation's youth is being corrupted. According to politicians, newspapers and TV, the spectre of computer pornography is haunting Britain. They say any child with a computer, especially with a modem, can get access to the most loathsome pornography, and they say something must be done.
Dehumanized by high-tech pornography.
Computer pornography certainly helps to sell newspapers. But is it really a threat on the scale suggested? Or is it just the latest focus for a convenient moral panic?
Most children do have computers in their rooms at home, now, a growing number anyway, and their parents just think that little Johnny is doing his schoolwork. When little Johnny may be dialing in to some bulletin board or dialing into some computerized network which produces pornography down the line, which he can not only watch but can copy as easily as anything, of very high intensity and quality, and which may deprave and corrupt him.
However, as chair of the recent Home Affairs Select Committee into computer pornography, Ivan Lawrence was actually told that there was very little evidence for the existence of digital sleaze.
There appears, I think, from the memoranda that we have got from both the Home Office and the Crown Prosecution Service, that there is some vagueness about the prevalence of computer pornography.
The main research on computer pornography has been carried out by Vicky Merchant, whose report is due out tomorrow. Having canvassed a number of schools, she is convinced that computer pornography is a major problem.
Computers are addictive. Children spend long hours in front of computers. And so to be exposed for long hours at an early age to pornography is harmful to children. It includes extreme violence, torture, rape, and so on.
However, despite the recent fuss over computer pornography, some critics believe that the whole issue has been blown up out of all proportion.
I think there is a panic about computer pornography, which is spreading through staff rooms, newsrooms, and especially the corridors of Westminster. I think it amounts to a moral panic that's been booted up by the authorities.
People who don't like pornography in general are whipping up concern about children and pornography. People who are anxious about computers in general and sense that computers are taking over the world and that people can't control them and so on. Again, they're putting that onto children and saying children need protecting from these computers. And I think that parents who are justifiably anxious about their children are having these anxieties exaggerated and put onto computer pornography at the present time.
What do you think about the research of Vicky Merchant?
Well, Vicky Merchant is kind of the pin-up of the panic mongers because her survey of head teachers is supposed to provide evidence of an epidemic of computer porn in the playground. But her notion of evidence consists of teachers reporting that pupils have told them that they know someone who has a disc with computer porn on it. I mean, if that's hard evidence, my name is Virtual Valerie.
My survey went to all mainstream schools in Britain, and the evidence which I'm using is teachers' perceptions of what they have in the school.
And how widespread is the problem, do you think?
Yes, well, it is present in many schools, more so in all-boys schools and mixed schools, very little in girls' schools.
Can you say how many?
Well, at the moment I can't, because I'm still in the middle of doing the fine points of the analysis.
A lot
a little?
Well, in many ways, the numbers, the exact numbers are insignificant. It's a bit like murder or any other issue. What's a lot of murder?
So, what are the different ways in which a child could get hold of computer pornography?
Floppy disk, maybe 100 sides of A4, the equivalent of a short novel, with great difficulty, 1 or 2 pictures. Still, nothing beyond that. On the networks, over an ordinary telephone line, getting hold of text, the equivalent of reading the columns in The Sun, is not too complicated. Getting hold of pictures, quite a lot more complicated. Getting hold of video, well nigh impossible. And you really need to know quite a lot. If a child can do that level of technology, you not only have a school child with extremely wealthy parents, I'd say we get that child on board and give it a degree straight away so it can do some serious research work.
Hardcore pornographic images are available online, but only from restricted bulletin board systems secured by passwords. To obtain a password, you have to pay for it with a credit card, hardly a likely option for a young child.
Our only concern must be to protect our children. That is what really matters. It's a secondary concern whether we protect adults from doing the things that they may or may not want to do that may or may not be desirable. But I think everybody has agreed that what we do to protect our children is justifiable, even censorship.
It is against the backdrop of this moral panic that the authorities are eroding civil liberties and gaining more powers of control.
And we know that there is interactive computerized activities coming on. It's the latest computer development for games.
The Home Affairs Select Committee has recommended that police should be empowered to enter any bulletin boards that they choose without a warrant.
You press a button and the man turns with the gun, and if you can shoot him, he falls down dead, but if he doesn't, then he shoots you, or whatever it is. Interactive computerized activity, which can be used in a sexual contact.
If you use a password to obstruct police entry, then that will be regarded as an aggravated offence. The British Computer Society advises teachers to think about banning students from bringing this to school.
And then there is virtual reality, where in future you will be able to surround yourself with earphones and clothing and everything else that will make you feel that you are the rapist.
And various commentators insist that parents must keep a constant watch on their children's computer monitors. And meanwhile, presumably, social workers and police are on hand to monitor the parents.
That is terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying that children should not only be touched by this stuff, but that the stuff should actually be eating into their very beings because of the latest technological development. And we've got to get our defences in now before it happens.
I mean, I think it all adds up to a network of surveillance. I think that the culture of conformity is coming to a terminal near you. And if cyberspace was ever an open frontier, I think the authorities are already in the business of closing it down and fitting it into the taboo-ridden society that is so characteristic of Britain today.